Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is November 22nd, 2023, and La Liga's president Javier Tebas has just announced his resignation about an hour ago. Also, they are currently investigating the Espai Barca project or the Spotify Camp Nou renovation for labor law violations. And finally, Barcelona currently fear a repeat of that match against Eintracht in the upcoming Champions League match against Porto that will be played at the Olympic Stadium at the top of Montjuic. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and I apologize for not posting a video yesterday, but I had an extremely long day and I didn't get home until late hours of the night. So this is the video to make up for yesterday's video because there was a lot of news coming out of Camp Barca. Now, having said that, don't worry, I will still hold the live stream tonight at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully I'll see all of you there at the live stream. Now, as always, make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment on the video, and subscribe to the channel. It all helps this channel continue to grow so I can continue bringing you the most up-to-date Barcelona news. And if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the Kickback. And if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure you hit the Bet Us. Both links for Kickback and Bet Us are down below in the description. Now, I'll begin with the breaking news that La Liga's president Javier Tebas just announced his resignation about an hour ago. Now, Javier Tebas had been president of La Liga since 2019 and he just submitted his letter of resignation, setting the path for a new elections in La Liga. And these elections will be overseen by a commission made up of 3 clubs from the first division of La Liga and 2 clubs from the second division, who again will oversee the elections in order to choose a new president of the Spanish League. Now, before you pop open the champagne bottles and start celebrating that Javier Tebas, who has overseen the decline of La Liga, has resigned, do not celebrate yet, because as it stands, it seems that this was a strategic move by Javier Tebas so he can regain the presidency at the end of these elections. Now, the reason I say this is because Javier Tebas' term was set to end in December at the end of this year. But of course, due to the holidays and due to the fact that the elections take about a month, the new elections weren't going to take place until the beginning of next year, 2024. So by resigning right now, Javier Tebas, he is putting the elections into motion, and that way he can get re-elected before the beginning of the next year. Now, as it stands, Javier Tebas does not have any opponents, and it's reported that he has the support of all La Liga clubs. So it looks like he could run unopposed, and if he does, of course, he will win the elections once again, setting a path for his 4th term, which would see him as the head of the Spanish League for another 4 years. Now, of course, this is the situation as it stands today, November 22nd, 2023. There can always be a new opponent that can present themselves for the presidency of La Liga. But as of now, it seems that Javier Tebas will run unopposed, and if he does, he will win another 4-year term. So again, even though this did seem as great news, it's not great news because it seems that the resignation of Javier Tebas could mean that he could be the president for another term. Now back to FC Barcelona news, because the team resumed training yesterday as the FIFA international break is officially over and the team prepares themselves for their La Liga match on November 25th against Rayo Vallecano. And there were 2 players who were missing out of that training, including Frenkie de Jong and Joao Cancelo. Now, Frenkie de Jong missed training because he is about to be a father, as his wife is about to give labor to their first child. So congratulations to our Dutch midfielder. And the reason Joao Cancelo missed training is because it's reported that the player is not feeling well. But don't worry, it's not due to an injury. It's most likely due to an illness. Now, of course, Sergio Roberto was also missing from practice because he is on the injured list. And there was a surprise visitor during training, which was Gavi, who showed up to visit his teammates, and he was immediately surrounded by a lot of love and support from his teammates, who all went to check up on him and try to motivate him, because Gavi does have a very long way to recovery with the recovery estimates being between 6 to 9 months due to the ACL tear that Gavi suffered in the match between Spain and Georgia. Now, Gavi will need surgery in order to recover from this ACL tear, and we now know the exact date of that surgery, and the surgery will take place on November 28th, where Gavi will undergo surgery in the city of Barcelona. Now, one interesting fact that I came across is that Xavi Hernandez actually suffered the same exact injury back in the 2005-2006 season, where Xavi Hernandez tore his ACL and did it also during a critical stage of the season. And Xavi Hernandez ended up coming back 4 months later because, of course, back then recoveries were much shorter, where now recoveries take a bit longer because teams want to be extra careful with their players. And after Xavi came back from his injury, he ended up winning La Liga and the Champions League with Barcelona. And that's when Xavi entered his prime. So hopefully history will repeat itself and we'll see Gavi come back healthier and stronger than ever, and we can see him winning more trophies with Barcelona. Now, speaking of Gavi, as I reported during the live stream, Barcelona are considering several alternatives to replace Gavi in the midfield. And even though there have been plenty of reports linking different players to Barcelona as a possible replacement for Gavi, I'm here to tell you that Barcelona have not made any decisions in regards to who's going to replace our beloved midfielder. So whatever reports you read out there that Barcelona have decided this or that, just know that they are not true, because the only thing that Barcelona have decided is that they have not made a decision yet in order to replace Gavi in the midfield. Now, one decision that Barcelona have made, and I did comment about this during the Monday's live stream, is that Barcelona have decided that Vitor Roque will still be the #1 priority for Barcelona in the winter transfer market, because Barcelona consider that even though, yes, Gavi's injury is a serious blow to the team, it's still not the #1 priority, because we do have other midfielders, including, of course, Frankie de Jong, Pedri, Ilkay Gundogan, Fermin Lopez, and Oriol Romeo, who all play in the first team. And of course, there are plenty of options in the academy, which I discussed 6 of them during Monday's live stream. So if you are interested to know what kind of names Barcelona are considering from the academy, make sure you check out that video from Monday's live stream. Now, as I also mentioned during the live stream, under the football rules, Barcelona are allowed to sign someone in the winter transfer market to replace Gavi, and they would be able to use 80% of Gavi's salary towards this new signing without affecting the financial fair play rules. However, under these rules, Barcelona would only be able to sign a player for 6 months only. So that would mean a very short contract, or of course, Barcelona would be able to take a player on loan for those 6 months. Now, there have been a lot of names linked with Barcelona as possible replacements, including Fabian Ruiz and Carlos Soler, 2 players who currently playing for PSG. But again, I'm here to tell you that those reports are not true, because first of all, those 2 players have incredibly high salaries. So there's no way that Barcelona would be able to fit them under that 80% rule of Gavi's salary. And again, Barcelona would only be able to sign players for 6 months. And I highly doubt that any of those 2 players would be willing to come to Barcelona for 6 months only. Now, another player that has been linked with Barcelona is Giovanni Lo Celso, but I really have doubts about this one, because with the injury of James Maddison, who has been ruled out until January, Tottenham Hotspur will be relying on Giovanni Lo Celso, so I really doubt that they will allow his loan to Barcelona. Now, more names that have been linked with Barcelona are Guido Rodriguez and even Thiago Alcantara. And in both situations, again, the same thing as Fabian Ruiz and Carlos Soler. The players have incredibly high salaries where Barcelona would not be able to fit under the financial fair play rules. And also, it's not likely that both players are going to want to come to Barcelona for 6 months only. And in the case of Thiago Alcantara, he has been suffering from a long string of injuries, so it wouldn't make sense to replace one injured player with another. Now, on to the news that the Spotify Camp Nou renovations are currently being investigated for possible labor law violations. Now, El Periódico, which is a Spanish media outlet, reported that workers at the Spotify Camp Nou renovation are currently complaining of very long hours where they're working upwards of 10 hours a day, Monday through Saturday, for very little pay. and it's reported that the Labor Department could begin investigating these accusations of labor law violations. Now, this would not affect Barcelona directly. This would affect the Turkish company Limac, who are in charge of the renovation of the stadium, because after all, it's that company who hires the worker, and it's that company who's in charge of paying their workers and overseeing the working conditions of the stadium. So this will not directly affect Barcelona, but it is reported, and this is a very interesting and important detail, that the reason why the Labor Department in Spain received these accusations or these complaints of labor law violations is because it seems that several company directors or company members of construction companies that have been rejected by Barcelona for the construction of the Spotify Camp Nou are the ones who forwarded these complaints for the Labor Department. So this could be nothing more than a vindictive act by these companies who have lost out on 1.5 billion euros to renovate the Spotify Camp Nou. Now we will end today's video with the news that Barcelona are currently fearing a repeat of that match against Eintracht Frankfurt in the Europa League in the upcoming Champions League against the Portuguese side, Porto. Now, as some of you might remember, in that match between Barcelona and Eintracht Frankfurt at the Spotify Camp Nou, 30,000 German fans were able to get tickets and flooded the Spotify Camp Nou, which made it seem that Eintracht Frankfurt were playing a home match. And it seems that Barcelona are fearing that this could happen once again in that match against Porto. Now, the reason Barcelona are currently fearing this is because when Barcelona allotted those 2,700 tickets for Porto's fans, they were immediately sold within a few hours. And the country immigration services are currently estimating that the double of that of Portuguese fans, so more than 5,000 fans, are expected to travel to the city of Barcelona in order to try to find last-minute tickets, and that they're willing to pay whatever price is being asked for so they can make their way into the Olympic Stadium Luis Companys. Now, hopefully, the club members or the season ticket holders do not make the same mistake as before and sell their tickets to the opposing fans, because we all know the debacle that happened against Eintracht Frankfurt, where the Spotify Camp Nou again seemed like a home match for Eintracht Frankfurt, and where those 30,000 fans terrorized Barcelona fans, trashing the stadium, even peeing from the stands, and then making their way to the streets of city of Barcelona, where they also trashed those streets as well. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I would like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to remind all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. And as always, peace, guys.